What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal recently went in on Kevin Durant as far as him wanting a trade out of Brooklyn. In his opinion, he thinks that it shows that Kevin Durant is not a leader. All right, he said this recently on the Rich Eisen show. I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. All right, he says, quote, "When you put a house together, you should live in it. You were the one that got the other architect from Philadelphia, so you as a leader should make it work. But you don't want to make it work. I guess you go buy another house." You know, he's probably going to try to go to a contender. It's easier that way. And it's not like, to me, Shaq is lying. When you look at Kevin Durant, his history, the pattern that he has is that he has a short patience when it comes to a team that he's on that is on that trajectory to being a championship contender. If it doesn't happen within a 3-year window, he bails. There is a pattern of that. Or if something wrong happens, he bails. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about, this pattern. As we remember, the Thunder were a young up-and-coming team that the 2010 Lakers, I believe it was the 2010 Lakers, faced in the first round. That's one of the, when you think about it, that's a great first-round team. And you could see that this is a team on the rise. 2 years later, they were in the finals. Now, they faced a super team in Miami. Only won one game, but still, this was a young up-and-coming team. Now, they survived the departure of James Harden, and just 3 years later, they had a 73-win Warriors team down 3-1. Now, this was a monumental collapse, of course, but they were showing right there that they were a championship caliber team. All they needed was for Kevin Durant to be the leader and look, people going on Russell Westbrook, KD should have went to him, being a leader, being the man, being the alpha, told him, look, I'm going to have to take over offensively. We can't have two dudes trying to be a closer. You know, you gotta have one role, be the point guard. I need to take over offensively. No, what he does is he bails. You know, he leads the teammates into thinking he's going to come back, and then the next day he puts out a message saying that I'm going to Golden State. He goes there, wins a couple championships, everything is all good, but then secretly he gets jealous of the fact that the media gives Steph Curry all this praise and not him. Draymond Green disrespects him after recruiting him, calls him a bitch. And when things get tough and the media starts turning on KD, 3 years later he dips. And now here we are 3 years later and he's leaving again. So yeah, there is a pattern with him in this 3-year window where he wants to leave if shit don't go right. Now, I know some people going to say, well, Shaq, he can't talk because didn't you ring chase or whatever? But at that point, Shaq was transitioning and becoming a role player. Okay, by 2005, 2006, he still had something left in the tank, but he was transitioning already to becoming a role player. And one thing I do give Shaq is that when he went to the Lakers, they had to go through a lot of fucking losing. And Shaq didn't request a trade. Shaq didn't quit. Shaq got heavily criticized. Oh my God. Man, before 2000, Shaq used to get criticized relentlessly by the media. I can only imagine if it was social media back then, because the printed press before 2000 when Phil came, they were like, Shaq is the biggest loser in NBA history. Because you got to remember, by that time, the record was this. He got swept in 94 in the first round by the Pacers, if I remember correctly. In 95, they got swept in the finals, a series they were favored to win. In 96, the Bulls swept them in the revenge series in the conference. I'm talking about Orlando. He goes to LA. He's supposed to be the savior there. He's supposed to have a team sufficient, all these responsibilities. But, off the court, he's getting into movies and all this other shit. And some people say he's not fully invested in basketball. 97, they lose 4-1 to the Jazz, which is why I don't understand people going on the Jazz, because the Jazz were a great fucking team. In 98, they get swept by the Jazz. In 99, they get swept by the Spurs. So but he held firm, and the next year, they learned from their mistakes. Shaq realizes that he has to take his game to another level, and the rest is history. So you can say, look, we can say Shaq is overrated, and he didn't quite live up to his expectations, but Shaq, at least one thing I'll say about Shaquille O'Neal is that he honored his contracts. KD is a great player, but I don't like this trend of these guys not honoring their contracts. And it's going to be hell to pay during the next CBA. It's going to be hell to pay for these players, man. And, it is what it is, All they're going to have the players to do is, all they're going to have to blame is guys like Ben Simmons and James Harden and KD. They're going to have those guys to blame for all this bullshit. Kawhi Leonard, taking his sweet time coming back and, not still being prepared to go 5-on-5. It is what it is. But tell me what you guys think.